Yo, uh, I kept getting tongue tied when I was talking, and I need to stop doing that. So, I thought I would just whip up some Reddit topics to talk about, you know? Not much to it, because I'm bored as shit, and why not, you know? What's a better way than fixing my vocabulary than creating fake arguments with the imaginary people in my head? I am. Skip it up. Yeah, no music, no nothing. If I had tunes, I'd put them on. I forgot the song. Actually, I'll look it up now. Lunatic. What is it? Lunatic Archives song. Um. I should just play the Lunatic soundtrack as background music. It's such a banger. Where? Never mind. This is too much of a pain in the ass to do. It's hard to find copyright-free music that's good. A lot of it is just straight garbanzo. But that's besides the point. Right now I'm debating. I can actually just probably show what the topics are, you know? Whip up this, do this, okay. Perfect. Alright. Let's go. There we are. So, right off, ignore this absolute. Oh my god, these ads. First debate. These ads suck. I think that's not even a debate. It's just a consensus. Hero Wars Dominion era. My friend downloaded the game because he's a gullible loser. Nah, he's my boy. But he downloaded the game, and I'm like, brother, what were you expecting? Because the actual game is just dog shit. It's like a mini clip Age of Empires game, man. It's so bad. There's no, like... And you watch the ads, you're like, okay, and it has these really goofy, like, opinions in the sort. Or not goofy opinions. It's really goofy, these ads, you know? So you're like, oh, I want to see this. I can do basic math. So then you download it to try and beat these, like, 3-year-olds playing in the ad. And then you find out that the game's not real. But, besides the point. Okay. First off, some of y'all really need to expose yourself to more media. This is r/character, right? Just, topics. Yeah. I think it's less exposing yourself to new media and more having actual media literacy. Because, oh my gosh, media literacy, I think, is something that should be taught in school. Because if your main takeaway from Star Wars is like completely 180 to the actual plot, brother, come on, man, use that noggin. I know you have it. I'm not trying to sound snobbish or claim that you are all dumb because you don't read books or whatever. God knows every other. Why do all children have? Oh, it's a menopause. Yeah, skip that. You probably have less in common with Wednesday Addams than your high school bully. Tim talkers. Yeah. Goddamn Tims. We'll talk about how it's weird popular like Wednesday because they quote unquote bullied me in high school and have ripped her to shreds. Weird popular kids like Wednesday. No, they wouldn't. And depends on high schools and ones that would arrive and immediately become popular despite her weirdness. She's a trust fund kid who's more or less confirmed a genius. I'm gonna try to find a good one. The Scooby Gang rarely thought something illegal was actually going on in the series. That's just a good post. Making villains have a reasonable cost and having their method of fighting for that cost be outrageously evil is a lazy way of trying to make your story seem morally complex. Oh my god, there's a really good example of this. It was so topical. Invincible season 2 wrapped up, right? In the comics, the guy like following up where season 2 left off, or one of the main villains is Dinosaurus, where his intention is noble because it's like climate activism or something, but then he goes about it by creating natural disasters to kill humans. And it's like, look, man, I get it. Climate change, bad. But you don't need to summon a tsunami, man. What's another one? Oh, yeah, Griffith, to an extent, where... Well, even his cause is not really noble or reasonable. He's just really selfish and he wants a kingdom. Who is it? I'm trying to think of what's a manga I've read that has that. A no reasonable. Well, actually, a lot of manga villains have that. There's like All for One in My Hero is in this thing where it's like, I want everyone to be equal because it's unfair, but his way of doing it is just doing acts of terrorism. That's super common in anime, I think. This guy's talking about Hogwarts Legacy, which I have not seen discussion about that game in, like, forever. And let me tell you, it wasn't good. A 19-year-old girl's rant about female characters. This is going to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. To read about women getting the shit beat out of her to the point where she has broken bones, then have her be subjected to rape. That's what I feel about Berserk. Where there's so much of it there. I'm like, brother, why? Why do you have this happen? It's like his go-to for it's like, you know they're bad because they are doing this. And you're like, but you couldn't have just, hot take. I think the Black Hound character, the Apostle chasing Guts in the Band of the Hawk, like when Guts comes back to it, that guy. Look, I think them having women and babies on pikes is enough for you to tell us that he's a bad guy. You didn't have to put the sex in there, brother. Like, maybe that's a hot take. Also, this is anime/manga, so I have a feeling they're gonna talk about Berserk. Do they talk about Berserk? No, they don't talk about Berserk. Damn. Also, Berserk, Casca's such a great character, but they don't use her correctly at the start and even at the end, where it's like, they have this great character, she's a warrior. Why don't you depict her doing that, And then she's out of the story. I mean, he brings it back. I'm gonna say the golden age of Berserk is like actual goated. But I think in terms of like characters, the second like golden age pass, I don't know what you call it, the dark age or something. Like Furness is a more interesting character. Like Furness is I like Furness, maybe that's a hot take. I didn't like Furness at the start because she was whiny, but you see Furness grow as a person, and she contributes to, like, she can stand on her own legs by just having a brain. Or what's the witch's girl's name? Shirk. Her too. Where I feel like if Casca was written in the modern Berserk era, like post Golden Age, she would be probably a much better character, because I feel like that's when Miura really started to like write better, I would say. Golden Age is still goated though. Like, such a great story, man. There's a reason why Berserk is like the goat. The reveal that Wakanda has had the cure for cancer is one of the worst reveals / retcons in comic history. Yeah, that is really. Yeah. I'm not a Marvel guy, so I'm not entirely properly educated on that, but hearing that already makes me go, ugh. A trope that I think is underutilized is a villain who is dangerous not because they're brilliant, but because they're incompetent. Okay. Oh, Alpha Protocol. That's a game I haven't heard. I played it, and I thought it was okay. I think I gave it like a 6 out of 10 when I played it, because it was just kind of like, it was really repetitive combat. The story's fun. The female love, quote unquote, love interests are just like there. The villains don't think their plan will mean a nuclear war, just rising tensions that they can exploit for profit. I mean, underutilized? Yeah. It is underutilized. But you could always extrapolate villains' plans into that, where it's like Caesar's plan in Fallout New Vegas is like, you're gonna secure trades and do all this stuff. But it's like, well, Caesar's also incompetent because there's a bunch of, he follows the Roman Empire. And what happens to the Roman Empire? It shatters and splinters, and it always, like, okay, every single time the Roman Empire is on the verge of collapsing, some, like, goated general shows up and claps cheeks, and then they shoot the Roman Empire into the Golden Age, and then they just start deteriorating again, and then another goat comes out the woodworks. It happens, like, every time. Yeah, I think stuff like this is, like, there are a lot of villains where if you just look past what they're telling you, you can see that they're kind of incompetent. I think most villains are like Thanos, where it's like, oh yes, murder half the world or half the universe to save on, like, resources, and it's like, or he could have just doubled resources. or you could have just, made things grow faster, or just give more. Like, that's the problem with, I don't think it's underutilized. I think that it's up to the reader to interpret the villain's plans. Free Guy has no idea how video games work, especially popular video games. Yeah. I mean, that movie was made as, it's like Pixels, where it's just like, hey gamers, here's a cool, hip film, please watch. We totally know video games. Ho, 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 ho. One Piece is overrated, and the fandom hates criticism. It's peak fiction, though. No, I had never read One Piece. I can see why it's good. It's pretty progressive, especially later on. Oda's definitely trying to say something. I think that these people, even though he reminds Dick writing, even though he remains friends with an unrepentant pedophile. Huh. Ah, yes, Rurouni Kenshin. Ah, yes. I'm just gonna ignore that. Hey, just look up Rurouni Kenshin artist, man. Or Rurouni Kenshin author. Yeah. Oda, he's pretty good. He makes really good shit. And the fact he's been doing it when there's been 1,000 chapters is pretty solid. Attack on Titan is the most overrated and pretentious manga I've ever read. I don't know about overrated. I think the manga, yeah. I think as an anime, I think it's properly rated. I mean, the initial hype was insane. You couldn't go anywhere without someone talking about Attack on Titan. But I think with how they laid out the seasons and these parts, the hype naturally died off into a place where it's properly rated, you know? Pretentious? I could see it being pretentious with the ending. It is a bit like, really? Really, bro? Like, this is the ending you wrote? I don't understand why the post time skip part is praised like a masterpiece. The world building is so shit that no one can name another country other than Marley and Paradis. Top-notch animation soundtrack. Yeah, I think if you look at it through as a manga, it's like it's really lacking in some parts, like the art. The art isn't good, man. It ain't it, chief. Whereas the anime is just so goated with the animation, bro. Levi is a goat because he goes nuts in the anime. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in it where you're just like, okay, when you're watching Attack on Titan. And also season 2 was boring, bro. I tried to get back into it because I was like, oh, okay, Attack on Titan, you know, it's picking up steam again. I'll start watching it again. I'm bending my knee to everybody. And then, oh man, season 2 was tough. Alright. What else can I say about it? Yeah, it is kind of pretentious with the ending. Where, like, Vinland Saga, it doesn't feel pretentious. Vinland Saga, you're like, damn, this is, like, good message. And I'm like, I have no enemies. Whereas with Attack on Titan, you're like, man, fuck you, bro. And I don't know why. I think it's just because Eren is a hypocrite. And you watch him and you're like, what are you doing, brother? Alright, give vampires a weakness they goddamn deserve. I'm rolling back their established weaknesses. Being a vampire is supposed to fucking suck. It's a curse. Ultimate rejection of humanity. Yeah, true. I think people's Twilight, that's what it is. Twilight changed it. Twilight changed the game for vampires. I mean, I can't even think about any vampire-related media lately. Do vampires in Skyrim have to... Can you drink the blood of animals in Skyrim? That's the only example of vampires I can think of currently. The vampires in Skyrim. Movies... Abe Lincoln, the Vampire Hunter. Yeah, I can see that. I agree. Vampires are the ultimate rejection of humanity. I think the whole point of a vampire is that they're kind of the inverse of a person. They are nocturnal instead of, you know, what's the opposite of nocturnal? Opposite of nocturnal. Diurnal. Diurnal. They're nocturnal, we're diurnal. We can go into buildings, they can't. They can turn into bats, we can't. They hate garlic, we love garlic. And they have to drink blood. Like, you become a monster, you are giving up humanity in return of powers that you think are worth the cost, but in reality, when you give it up, you're like, damn, this sucks ass. That's what it should be. Someone said something about Vampire the Masquerade. Balanced quite right. With enough debilitating weaknesses that you need to be careful, but enough wiggle room to add extra clan-specific ones that overall adds to the feeling of customizable vampirism, where each rogue, rough archetype gets its representation in the setting. To be honest, being a living corpse would already horribly suck, for me. No food, no physical enjoyment, basically complete sensory death. Yeah, that's another thing. You have sensory death. Another example. Like, they got superpowers with no downsides. What the... What? Alright. I really dislike when fans make theories that completely ignore the actual tone of the series. Hey, man. I don't care what you think. Signalis is a happy ending, and I refuse to believe otherwise. I want my space lesbians happy. I'll tell you that now. I refuse to believe that they are stuck in an endless loop of torment and death. No. I reject your story. Rose Engine, or whatever the... Is it Rose Engine? Rose Engine Games. Haha! It is. To gently, this is sort of a meta version of something I've thought about for a while, that theories, and especially versus battles, will outright ignore a character personality when discussing them. Like, this character can use insert instant kill move, and yet they just don't ever do in the story because it isn't in their personality to just do the move. I feel like this is talking about, or it's not. This is after the Gojo Makima death battle. What is this about? My Hero Academia. Ooh. Yikes. You never want to hear about My Hero Academia in a conversation. Manga reader's reaction when the war arc was coming up. Talk about the death of Miss Midnight. She was raped by the villain that killed her. What? Who even is Miss Midnight? Miss Midnight. Oh, her. Wait. The death? She died? Spoilers? What? She died? You know, I'm gonna keep it real with you. My Hero Academia is real stinky. With character deaths. It really feels like it doesn't earn it. Like, it's like, okay, you killed them for the sake of killing them, you know? Oh, she even got off-screened. Oh my god, it's Gojo all over again. Okay. It's kind of theories because they're just one server from those practically copy-paste edgelord theories. For a villain to rape her. Gosh. A lot of R word here. Yeah. X character will die. Even if it's children's series that never kills characters. She's not a child. Whoa. She's not a child. She's hundreds of years old, so it's okay. Kiss shot. Man, I despise the fact that they use, like, kid kiss shot instead of the fucking vampire lord kiss shot, or even just older kiss shot. Kiss shot forms. Like, why? Why don't you have big mommy Shinobu? Brother. There's even in betweens. Why did you have to use the kid? What? Oh, it's because she doesn't have... Oh, excuse me. By the way, I only watched the Kizumonogatari movies, all three. Oh, it's because she doesn't have her full power, so she can't turn into the fucking super vampire demon. Motherfucker, turn her into a fucking 24-year-old. She doesn't have to be goddamn God's greatest creation. She just can't be fucking 14 or 12. Man, and they never use adult kiss shot. She's such a great character. I think that's why I didn't watch any other of the Monogatari parts, because I'm like, man, Shinobu ain't in any of them, man. I love Shinobu. They use her as like a, whenever the guy, what's the guy's name? Black haired, Arigato. What is the guy's name? Monogatari main guy. Araragi. Yeah, like, it's like whenever he has like, damn bro, I'm getting fucked. Hey yo, kiss shot, help me out here. Man. That's what I think about. When I think of this argument, I think a kiss shot. Man. I like Nazuna though. Nazuna's a great design. And I love the fact that she's just like 67. She's in like some immortal 1,000-year-old vampire. Well, she is immortal, but she's just like 67. Such an awkward age. Kishimoto's writing on the Uchiha is unironically a good example of real-life pro-genocide propaganda. Wow. Who let this guy cook? Feral prone genetics. You have no voice. You know what? He made a meal. I think this guy made a meal. That's where the Uchiha claim about their demise. Now, the beginning of the series was written in a pretty black and white manner. The victims of Tasha was the aggressor. Nothing complicated about that. Naruto fell in love with Itachi and thus began major backpedaling to justify the massacre. Yeah, Itachi was at the start of Naruto was like the big bad. Him and the Akatsuki. But then they're like, no, he's actually a caring brother, and he did it all for Sasuke. And you're like, okay. Given I don't remember jack about Naruto. I watched that shit when I was young as fuck. Yeah. Man, Naruto. Naruto has a problem where the characters aren't well written. The fights are good. I love the, like, Wing Chun fight scenes in it. It's hype as hell. But, man, Hinata is not a good character, bro. She's just not. She's just, like, it's Naruto's love interest. And in Boruto, she's, like, non-existent or something. Man. Like Bleach, you look back on Bleach, and yeah, Bleach's main issue wasn't the characters. The characters were great. Kubo made the drippiest people alive. Problem with Bleach was pacing, man. Bro, I remember the filler arc where they had, like, animal spirits go nuts or something, and then they got attached to people, and these guys were causing mayhem, and it was like, alright, Ichigo, world's in danger, you gotta rein in these boys. And it's like, bro, you couldn't get like one of the doo-doo squad captains to do this? Couldn't get that guy with the eyeliner? Man, it's such bad pacing in Bleach. So bad. Anyway, self-aware crap is still crap. Literally, Rick and Morty, before they fired Justin Roiland. The She-Hulk and that Gwenpool comic run. I liked the Gwenpool comic. I feel like it was rushed, and also that the characters in it weren't good apart from Gwen. I feel like that's what comics really have bad writing a lot of the time. I think it's a big shame. They always have, like, goated artwork, but the writing is always what lets them down. That's probably just because I've seen bad comics. But it's also really hard to get into comics. Like with manga, you have a definitive start and a definitive end. The problem with comics is that there's so many authors jumping in on already pre-established characters that you don't have a good starting point. Do I start with this author's rendition of Spider-Man, or do I start with this author's rendition of Spider-Man? Do I have to go to volume 1 of Spider-Man to and continue the main storyline, or can I just like hop in at like the reboot? A bunch of that sort of stuff. I don't know anything about She-Hulk, so but yeah. The dumber your premise is, the more serious you need to take it. Violet Night. Santa is menacing a mansion to drop off gifts, but the mansion is being robbed by mercenaries. It's an okay movie. It's not bad, but I couldn't understand why I didn't like the match. The jokes fell flat. Too many sappy Hallmark moments. I watched The Banshee of Inisherin. An island breakup and things escalate. Sounds kind of lame, right? Dark comedy. Took yourself seriously the entire time. Huh. It follows. TLDR, a curse is passed through sex, and whoever's cursed is eventually stalked by a stalking ghost. Killed by a stalking ghost. Yeah. Like, I think that's all horror movies, though. Horror movie premises are the stupidest thing ever, man. If you read a horror movie premise, you would roll your eyes and be like, this is dog water. But some of them, they come out banging, like that one with the guy in the cheeseburger with that one actor where there's a bunch of guys, they go to an island, and this dude is like, hey man, you don't appreciate my meal, so you gotta kill each other. Whatever that movie's called, like The Chef or The Hunt or something. But I think that's just all horror movies. You can do the inverse. If you have a super serious premise and you take it dumb as, like, you treat it like it's a sack of potatoes, you're going to come out with a funny movie. Like The Room. When villains play the sympathy card and the hero calls them a hypocrite. That is a really good trope. Let's see this guy. I finished the Great Ace Attorney game recently, and I love how Ryonosuke, the attorney MC, will openly call out the murderers for being jackasses. And he has no sympathy for them. This is especially good on the second game because they're all about some twisted sense of justice. You killed a person because it killed an innocent person and framed someone else, yet you framed this innocent person for your crime, so your words have no value. You killed someone for unintentionally being in the way of treasure of yours. That treasure was never yours, you entitled lunatic. Yours, you entitled lunatic. You murdered this guy for ruining your career, and yet you were ready to not only murder, but ruin another person's career, so in my opinion, you're even worse. You murdered a bunch of people to stop corruption? Congratulations, now you are the corruption, and you're going to jail, you jackass. I think the perfect example of this is a manga called Akatsuka? Akatsu. Is it called Akatsuka? Akatsuki? Nope, that's Naruto. Manga about masked guy dying a lot. Not Gantz. It's the one where it's a dude with a demon mask. Manga with guy wearing red demon mask. Akumetsu! There we go. Akumetsu. Same thing where it's like, it's about this guy who goes about murdering corrupt politicians in Japan. But it's just like over the top murder. And he did this thing where he murders the police commissioner, because he's corrupt, by killing a bunch of teenage bikers. And you're like, because he initiated like a confrontation between the two, and it was like, okay, you could have just killed the dude, you know? You didn't have to murder a bunch of bikers. Oh, but they're bad guys. Actually, they're misinformed youths, and they're probably teens. Yeah. I feel like there's a bunch of manga where that happens. There was one. Oh, what is it called? It's called like the Me and My Master Breakthrough or Forbidden Magic Breakthrough or something. It's a light novel, a breakthrough brought by Forbidden Master and Disciple. I think that's a good one for if you want kind of that thing where it's like the person calls out. It's like, because so premise is this dude, he's the son of the heroes that saved their fantasy world. He's not living up to their hype or anyone's hype. He's getting shit on behind the scenes. Yo, other nobles are like, yo, man, this guy kind of sucks. Bro, his dad at this age was already, like, taking names and kicking ass. And this bro, man, he can't even, he stutters or something. He doesn't stutter. I was like, bro, this guy can't even, like, walk in a straight line. So, nobles are talking mad smack behind his back. And his parents don't give a shit. So, dude is like, damn, life sucks. But then he finds some book, and then he gets strong and trains, and yada, yada, yada. Jump to the big finale of the manga, where he calls out everyone for being a hypocrite and being like, yo, bro, I did all this, and you guys did nothing. You knew, and you didn't do anything. It's very cathartic seeing them being faced with their mistakes. Like that. Actually, good segue there. Skyrim's dragons are technically wyverns. No, they aren't. They're dragons. Yes. I think this was all spawned by the dragonology books when you were a kid. Yeah, Dragonology, the complete book of dragons. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All those dragon books when you were a kid helped perpetuate this lie about wyverns. Also, Monster Hunter. In Monster Hunter, wyverns... Dragons are always creatures with 4 legs, like Altarian. Altarian is a dragon. Fatalis is a dragon. But wyverns like Rathalos... Wyverns are like Rathalos and Rathian. And, what is it called? Sergios and Tigrex. Because Tigrex, he has 4 legs, but he also has wings on his legs. So he is a brute wyvern. Also because everything is a wyvern in Monster Hunter. Zinogre is a wyvern. He was like a fanged wyvern or something. Brachydios is a brute wyvern. Or wyvern, or however you want to say it. Personally, if the game calls it a dragon, it's a dragon. I don't think there's like one end all and be all of what a dragon is. It's all up to the game. Dragon's Dogma. Wait, does Dragon Dogma? Dragon's Dogma. Wyvern. I don't think there are wyverns in dragons. Oh, they do. What the hell are the wyverns? Oh, the wyverns are dragons. One of the smaller cousins of the titular dragon. Oh, they're a type of dragon. Neato. Well, anyways, I really hate inexplicably supernatural explanations for why Gotham is the way it is, and would prefer it remaining unsaid. I don't give a shit about Gotham. I hate how many things are irony poisoned. I hate how so many people in the audience have to go, ha 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 ha. I know it's shit. I don't really like it. It's good for a blank story, but not, like, really good. Is there something I enjoy ironically? I think... I don't even enjoy isekai trash. Oh, I totally enjoy slow burn romance manga, ironically. Completely ironically, I have no feelings toward them, and if they cease to exist, I would live perfectly fine. I totally wouldn't curl up into a ball and commit seppuku if I couldn't see Tsugami win in Nisekoi. What do you mean she didn't? You liar. Man, I'm still upset about that. Tsugami was like the goated character in that manga, but they still had the freaking blonde girl in. At least it wasn't Onodera. Bro, that girl was a piece of wet cardboard. She has zero personality. Even the cop girl was more interesting. Fan theories are either completely ignore the tone of the series, its themes, or both. Yeah. I think a lot of these can be cracked down to think about the dumbest person you know, and then make them twice as dumb. That is the average population. I don't know who said that. I'm gonna look it up. Dumbest person you know. Quote. George Carlin. Imagine how stupid the average person is and then realize half of all people are stupider than that. Where it's like, yeah, people are dumb. Not all of them have the same level of media literacy as you. Anyways, I love characters who can best be described as super masculine, non-toxic masculinity. Like Alex Lewis Armstrong. Oh, I was going to say JoJo. Body Improvement Club. Yeah, these are great characters. Uncle Iroh, non-toxic masculinity. Yeah, a lot of JoJo characters I think are like that. Thor, god of lesbians. Oh, he's just talking about bimbos. Or himbos. Honestly, Himbo's goated character design. If you don't like him, that's your choice. I was gonna say you suck, but man, that's okay. Like Johnny Bravo, that's hype. And the Body Improvement Club, that's hype. Or the Tank Top Boys in One Punch Man, where they have complete and utter faith in their tank tops, that's hype. A bow is not a better weapon than a musket. Easily performs in every aspect. The reason the bow is a ban was due to the ease of training of musketeers compared to archers. But when you put trained archers against trained musketeers, the archers will have the advantage. This view is very common across the internet, not just in the battle boarding community. What is battle boarding? I'm gonna look that up. Battle boarding versus debate. I mean, I'm not a big history buff, but gun beat bow. Like, the thing is, like, a bow and arrow, right? If you're wearing plate armor, you're probably fine. It's not like you're gonna get, like... Unless that dude is nuts and has the back of a demigod. Like, you're... Like, it's Yujiro Hanma wielding that bow. You'll be fine if you're wearing plate, you know? Whereas with a musket, you just point, click, guy's dead. It's just simple as that, man. Guns are just easy. You point, you click, they're dead. And nothing can stop the bullet. With an arrow, it's like, okay, you have a shield, you have this, you have that. You're pretty solid. It's just firing rate that lets down a musket. And even then, you hit them once, they're dead. With an arrow, like, you can get lucky. A bullet, you can also get lucky, but man, it's going to be a lot tougher. There's a conclusion of Star Wars. Don't care. Most shonens have the protagonist aspire to a leadership role, never actually show why they should be the leader in any other capacity than strength. It's like a caveman society. MC who wants to be the Hokage, Wizard King, etc. Hard-headed protagonist. Joner's defense. It's not like leading past Shonen requires charisma or leadership skills. He becomes the boss because he's the one with the ambition to climb ranks. Oh yeah. Really? Giorno? I mean, he wasn't even the, like, leader. He wasn't really the leader. It was Bruno. It was Bruno. Giorno just, like...
He's the dad. He's not a stepdad. He's the dad who stepped up. But yeah, Naruto wanting to be Hokage, it's like, I mean, a lot of them, Tsunade and what's the guy's Kakashi, where they're just like, yep, they're now genius logistics. I mean, maybe Kakashi. He seems like he read a lot of books. He's probably smart. But yeah, what's another example of it? Um, I feel like there's not many modern examples of that, like with modern shonen. Chainsaw Man, not even close. Sakamoto Days, no. Marriage Toxin, no. Dun Dun Dun, no. I feel like this trope is dying. Like hardcore. I feel like this isn't a topic that fits into the modern landscape of shonen. Because modern shonen has abandoned this ideology. Like, Kagurabachi, I wouldn't know. I haven't read it. Mob Psycho, no. One Punch Man, no. Chojin X, no. Yeah, there's not many modern examples of this happening in shonen. Let bad guys be racist. True. I think my biggest nitpick of this is Hazbin Hotel. Or, not Hazbin Hotel, but Hell of a Boss. I was watching it because friends and my little sister. And I was like, they had the scene where one of the demon guys signs to the kid. And you're like, okay, yeah, that's cute, right? Whoop-de-doo. Personally, I think that the fact that they are in hell should mean that they're evil, you know? Like, call me old-fashioned. Hell, kind of bad. Like, torture in sinners, sucky. I think, oh man, a lot of the characters in Hell of a Boss and that are just like nice and inclusive. I get inclusivity, you know? They are hedonistic, they don't care about sexuality, about gender and all that because, you know, they're demons. They don't give a shit. But they would also be like hateful, you know? They wouldn't be racist, they would just be hateful. They would hate you. For what reason? Anything they could find. That's my main gripe with that show, as well as the constant sex jokes, especially in the later episodes where I'm like, I was watching, I was like, you could have just ended the joke like 5 seconds ago instead of pulling it out to include all of this other stuff. Like, hey guys, this really sucks. Pause. Dig, which I'm gonna do tonight. And it's like, ooh, you could have just like, stop it there, man.
Anyways, let bad guys be racist. This guy somehow draws the line at anti-Semitism. Rizzo to not be racist. What? And eventual overcoming that. I just want to see straight up bad guy who's actually bad and not selective bad. You know what I mean? And no, they hate everyone equally as corny as fuck. Fuck out of here with that safe, edgy BS. I mean, I think fantasy villains are very racist. Because elves and all that. Aren't demons in manga naturally, like, supremacists? Because they want to murder everything that's not a demon? I think fantasies are always like that. In terms of Peacekeeper, he's not like this like ruthless mercenary. He's fighting for a better America, you know? Like isn't that his whole ordeal, is that he wants to make America great again? As bad as that sounds. I thought that was the main theme of Peacemaker.
Also, Wizards of the Coast said there's absolutely no racism in Magic the Gathering multiverse. Bro, Magic the Gathering has Necrons in it. I don't know what's going on there. Don't care about Five Nights at Freddy's. I know, hot take. I love JoJo for not ridiculing effeminate men. That's a... Yeah, JoJo is unique in that, where it has effeminate men doing, like, quote-unquote manly things, you know? Because you got your boy, the two stand users, the shark stand user and the tongue stand user, and those boys love each other. They're also fucking bad boys who will just annihilate you. And respect. Women doing manly stuff is seen as empowering, but men doing girly stuff is seen as weak and laughable. Huh? Bruno Bachar, a man with cleavage, lingerie, and a bob cut. Diablo's hard, bro. Yeah, I think it's because when you see JoJo characters strike and dress, you're like, yep, that was a JoJo character, so you don't really clock with that. It's like, oh yeah, that's kind of weird to wear. Fandom discourse. If they look like an adult and act like one, whatever arbitrary age placed by the author doesn't matter. I think there's a big problem with... This is not related to this, but with, like, manga artists creating very young looking... Not young looking characters, but, like, short characters. And because of the link between short character and anime equal lolly, there's a lot of discourse over that when it's like, she can just be short, man. You know? Like, being short doesn't equate to you being underage. Like, height doesn't mean age, or else I'd be permanently 12. The Uzaki-chan thing was a big one, but meh. I don't really care about that because it's a bad show. Like, Nazuna is short, but she doesn't behave, she doesn't look, she isn't, underage. I feel like she acts and looks like she's in her young 20s. But maybe that's just my, brain. Maybe someone else has a different opinion on that. Fans and writers too often believe being smart in one way means a character must be smart in all ways. Yeah, I think... I feel like this goes both ways. Where if a character is smart only in terms of, like, base intelligence, they can't be smart emotionally. Music character must be smart always. I actually don't believe this is very often, or you see this very often. Bad example. Big Bang Theory. Oh, my gripe. Smart characters having antisocial traits. Give me a smart character that's, like, smart and also really charming, Give me that. That's what I want to see. I want to see a smart character who will charm your socks off. Your socks will fly away and flutter onto their feet just by the call of his voice. Give me that. But he's also like Giga Brain, where he'll solve Einstein's theories and he'll have 3 PhDs. He's also, has a winning complexion. Give me one of those. Kind of like Dr. Stone, but Dr. Stone's ass, so actually don't. Don't make your work star an iconic character if they're not actually going to resemble said character. What? If they're not... Oh, because of the Winnie the Pooh thing. Yeah. Is it weird I kind of just don't care about fan service or sexualization in media? Yeah, you kind of get, like, desensitized to it in anime, where the beach episode is less about the fan service. It's more just like, okay, they're at the beach, skip. You know, like the viewing of fan service in anime has changed. Before it was like, oh bro, we got to see fucking titties, man. They're in their bikinis. Whoa, women. Whereas like nowadays, it's just kind of like, okay, they're at the beach. Anything cool gonna happen? Mm-hmm. Tojo is wanting equal fan service, which just sounds kind of stupid. You can see Captain America's glorious ass cheeks. Yeah, but like that's Pog, man. I want to see Captain America's ass. Jujutsu Kaisen anime had great fan service for the ladies. Jujutsu Kaisen daughter or Chainsaw Man son. Pick one. Which pill will you take? It's not what a character is wearing that makes something fan service, but how they are shown wearing it. I think a good example is Revy. Like, you look at Revy's outfit. Oh my lord. But, like, it's not fan service seeing Revy, you know? Like, Revy is just a looker. But in the anime, you see Revy, and you're like, she's not, it's not, it's fan service, but because you're used to seeing her like that, you're just kind of like, well, it's just Revy. It's Revy being Revy. Ain't much about it. And honestly, I love it, man. I love Revy. She's such a great character. I want to rewatch Black Lagoon now. What is this guy talking about? Oh, Wonder Woman. Yeah, true. Her whole brand, her costume, if you look at it out of context, whoa, wow, a lot of skin. But people don't view it as fan service because it's Wonder Woman, man. Like, she's hot, but it's Wonder Woman. She's a hero. You see her as like the icon. Not built like a slab of raw muscle being called a twink. Who isn't built like an early JoJo's Bizarre Adventure MC, they're called a twink. Satoru Gojo get called a twink. Bro, Gojo is like, bro has a sleeper build. Dude takes off his like parka or whatever he has on. Gojo Satoru. Like, you telling me, where's a good picture? Like, I need a full body picture. Bro, like here. That's a fan art though. You know, here. Where it's like, this isn't a twink, man. Sorry, it's really small, but that's not a twink. He's just a dude who's tall and lean. A twink is effeminate, you know? Also, is it okay to call people twinks? Or call somebody a twink? I don't know. See a lot is for Apollo from Record of Ragnarok. This guy? Or this guy? I can't see anybody mistaking him. But him? I think people mistake, like, clean facial features as effeminate. Oh, okay. Well, that's because that's how he acts. Oh my god. Jesus. Yeah. Oh man. I actually really like Jujutsu Kaisen's art. I'm never gonna read the manga, but my man Choso. If my man Choso like comes up and absolutely annihilates Sukuna, then I'll read. I love Choso, man. He's such a goat. Space Hitler's right hand man. Two-Face's goon. What? Oh. They're just opinions. This character is OP and thus boring. To actually take into account the context of that character story. One Punch Man. Mob Psycho 100. You know? Mob is overpowered as hell, but it's about him like not relying on the innate talent that he has. It's him growing as a person and finding his own strengths through hard work. Reagan instills in Mob that, hey bro, you don't mean shit if you don't put in the work, man. Like, you can have all the talent in the world. It's the whole anime is about you're not special. And Mob constantly overcomes all of these guys who think they're hot, the sexiest car at the car sale. I've never heard that saying before. I invented it now. Like, all these guys, and Mob is like, man, like, there's always somebody better than you, you know? So it then comes down to your hard work and your character. Doesn't matter what you can do, innately. New film series is a Scooby-Doo Two-Face. That's such a great title. That's such a great title. Scooby-Doo Two-Faces. That's so good. That's peak cinema. I'm done with My Hero Academia. Bro, I was done when they brought in that school festival arc, man. I did not care about Mr. like the Diddler or whatever the guy's name was, man. Him and his daughter. I do not care. And then I read they that they killed like this really strong character, Stars and Stripes, and I was like, what? Why kill her? Because I read her ability, and it's just like he had to kill her because the girl was too strong, and then it's just kind of like a shoehorn where you're like, okay, cool. Thanks for becoming a mass murderer for our sake. Yeah, and then it's like trying to redeem the villains like Toga, and it's like she's murdered people. What? That's why I'm going to whip out one of my favorite videos. It's so good. And here, I'm going to audio.
Think I'm cute?
But it's like, that's how you should respond to these villains trying to pull their ooh woo, I'm actually misunderstood. Just domain expansion. Sole purpose of leveling things out for Deku to defeat Shigaraki, and then she died just like that. Yep. Man. Like, there's so many goated characters, like female characters, but then they just get dumpstered. Supervillains ruining the lives of random civilians is underused. That would be funny if a supervillain's whole vendetta was against the general populace. Like, they just like, I am going to blow up train tracks, and I am going to cause blockades so that getting anywhere is a ginormous pain in your ass. I will destroy every ATM machine and I will make the bank crash. That would be a fun villain where they're just their whole existence is just to be a menace to society. I hate magic. I hate the magic was actually science lol. Doing in the wizard. Huh? Science is bollocks too. Yeah. And all symbols all actually match some super advanced alien tech. Oh yeah, that just feels dumb, man. Just make it fantasy, bro. Like Warhammer, where it's like, here's some wacky magic stuff with the warp, but also technological advancement. We will crush these demons under the weight of our giant mech feet. That's hard. Like the mix of magic and technology. They don't see the people of the new world as real people, is a reasonable character flaw. Um, Reincarnated Oceanies, fast character development, but it is unreasonable line of thought, and the world really behaves as light novel. This comes on a lot of manga, where its long steady point is, death is the only ending for the villainess. Penelope's main flaw is seeing the world as a game, and everyone as a character she should manipulate. But is she wrong? Yes, because they're people. Yeah. Yeah, this guy. Hell, probably the first time you do something out of the genre and the world just reacts rather than crashing will change your mind. Most isekai stories, it becomes extremely clear that this is more than just a video game very quick. A person might start out believing this, but it takes an impressive level of closed-mindedness to keep it going after months or years of living in a completely real-seeming world. Yeah. My main gripe is people getting isekai to a world that has slavery, and then they're okay with it. Like, I want Isekai Abraham Lincoln. That's what I want. Because Mushoku Tensei is... Oh my god, I hate it. I hate the main character. And I despise... It's everything I dislike about Isekai. Guy gets into this world. He sees, like... Oh, but, like, it's... The system is already built for it. Change the system! The system was built for slavery in real life. We changed it. Like, brother. You're just... You're... Oh, man. Mushoku Tensei, bro. And then, also... Alright, I'm just gonna start ranting about Mushoku Tensei. It's this dude who gets reincarnated into the body of a kid. And then he is just... the most perverted child ever, man. And it's like, okay, bro, you're sucking on your mom's tits. What the fuck, bro? Like, you can't be perving out like this, man. Stop it. And then he gets with a 14-year-old. I don't care if you're a kid now. That doesn't matter. You were this, like, flawed human being before, and I get it. It's about overcoming your flaws and growing as a person. But brother just gets handed stuff on a silver platter and then he just fucks it up, man. Like, and also, this dude sleeps with the Grey Rat girl and then Grey Rat just, like, F's off. She's like, I gotta find myself. See ya, bro. Like, she just full up one night stands him. And honestly, respect to her. Because Rudius, I hate him, man. Dude, it sucks. Gosh. I want an isekai where it's a person just pushing their modern beliefs and modern society onto this feudalistic world. Where it's like, oh, there's slavery here? We're not doing that. You guys are, like, this guy comes in, centralized banking. Public infrastructure. This dude is coming in and he's just laying down the groundworks for society. He's putting public transportation in there. You're getting buses and trains and trams in your cities now. Like, slavery, bro. You're not allowing crossing these borders or you're getting shot on sight. I'm sorry. Like, I just want a character like that, man. Stop making speedsters too damn fast. Yeah. The Red Flash and Invincible's probably good speed. Yeah, but the problem with making speedsters too damn fast is that the fact that they just become overpowered. Like, there's literally nothing in the world that can challenge them. Ooh, we shot goo at you, so now you can't run. Okay, I will simply move so fast that my particles go through the glue. You know? Or I will move so fast that friction will simply melt the glue. And it's like, yeah, they just become impervious. Maybe if you just, like, stick your arm out and they run into it. Maybe that's how. Like, their arch nemesis is just a wall. Mike Wazowski's scary. Well, yeah, if you think about it. One more day saying that Doctor Doom wouldn't help Spider-Man is the biggest bullcrap they made in the comic. Bro, comics. Sorry, bro. I ain't got shit for that. I like when minor bad guys are unexpectedly formidable. It's sorry, I don't think this is the same, but I loved in Jujutsu Kaisen where Maki just has to fight two dudes, two absolute jobbers, but these guys are like the most. They have a sole purpose. One of them's whole existence is sumo. The other guy's whole existence is swordplay, and they do not care about your drama, about anything. They're there to do their job and job. They are going to job so goddamn hard, but they're gonna love it. Also, fun fact, Jujutsu Kaisen, the scene where Maki does sumo is actually a commentary on how women aren't allowed to do sumo, which I thought was super interesting. Because in a Western mindset, you read that chapter and you're like, oh, she's doing sumo. Scroll. Whereas, like, a Japanese mindset, you're like, what? She's doing sumo? She's not allowed? I think that's really interesting. It was a cool little thing I found on Twitter. Anyways, The Boys can in no way be considered more realistic than the MCU. I think The Boys is a parody of superheroes. That's what it originally was. And The Boys is just a better parody. Because The Boys comic is really, really bad. Oh, minor bad guys, minor good guys. Takeba and the lawyer guy. Bro, they cook, man. They get into the kitchen and it's like Gordon Ramsay's making a beef Wellington. They are just chefing in there, man. Gosh, I love Takeba. He's such a great character. I love him so. For the 1 billionth time, a male character isn't necessarily gay for showing no interest in relationships with women. Yes, they can just be, asexual or pansexual? I don't know. Asexual. Yeah, asexual. Pansexual. Yeah, both of them. They can be pansexual or asexual. They don't have to be gay or straight. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna drink some water. God, hiccups. Also, I just read this. This is so real because in Kagurabachi, there's a character that just like cuts off the leg of a like 10-year-old girl, and like the visceral hatred you can get from that in comparison if you just like murdered like 50 people. Great example. Cause when a villain commits a crime on a small scale, it feels personal, you know? It's like the difference between if you shoot somebody 50 yards away and if you stab them. Stabbing them, you're looking them in the eye. You're seeing the life drain from them. You're shooting a guy 50 yards, like you just see him drop. Same thing. A villain committing like a personal crime. That's why Mahito, why him mocking Yuji hits so much harder than just him like butchering a bunch of people in Shibuya. Cause you know Yuji. You like Yuji. You don't want to see Yuji be sad. Or you like Junpei. You hate seeing Junpei's corpse be paraded. Mahito's a great example of it. Oh, Dio? Yeah. Or shamed for disliking violence. Shamed for disliking shamed for disliking violence. Yeah. Get in the mix, Shinji. That's what comes to my mind. Starting to really dislike power scalers. Nice. What is poison for screenwriters? I don't know what that is. Morally gray isn't simply just part bad and part good. Morally gray is like reasoning behind it. Like, when they're being a nice person is dumb and any character who's an asshole automatically more mature and realistic, yeah. Morally gray is like, I am going to kill all of these corrupt hospital officials because they're embezzling funds. And I don't see any other way to do it. Or like committing blackmail to do it. Where the goal is pure, but the method is corrupt. That's morally gray. Or just basically any philosophical debate. That's morally gray. An adult cartoon, but without the adult stuff. Huh. I also know what difference an adult, which is a shame because being an adult is so much more than that. Yeah. Depressing. Too depressing, too violent, too serious, too edgy, or so intact with realism. Yeah, you could make an adult cartoon where it was based... how would you make an adult cartoon without there being a very strong link to these things? What's an example of that? Does he give an example of it? King of the Hill. Oh yeah, King of the Hill. Where it's just a bunch of dads hanging around in the backyard drinking beers. That's a great example. You know? Yeah, King of the Hill. Great example. People who hated Skylar because Walter White was a power fantasy for degenerates. Female characters whose only reason to like the MC is that he's the MC character. True, man. So it would be empty if everyone just stopped watching isekai garbage. That's really true. Yeah, it's a power fantasy / wish fulfillment thing. Or I think this is a problem with a lot of modern harem anime that come out, where they like the main guy because he's so nice and he's so this and that, and it's like, okay, bro, so are the other 50 harem characters, or there's other nice guys out there, like, why this guy? There is a really good romance manga about this one dude who is goated in the kitchen, and it's more believable that these girls are swooning over him because he's absolutely whacked out of his mind in the kitchen and in the house, man. This guy perfected being a house husband. And, like, honestly, I'm kind of gay for him. Like, he's a trooper. That's deserved. I'm gonna try and find it. Gosh. Oh my lord, this thing is like... It's gonna take me a while to find it, so give me a sec. So basically the premise is that it's this one dude whose mom is an actress, and his mom is like a goated actress, but he's dog water. So for some reason he lives with these 3 girls who are absolutely goated in 3 different things. One of them is goated in like shoujo or shogo, whatever, the Japanese version of chess. One of them's goated at that. The other one is a goated actress in that all-female theater that is in Japan. I don't know what it's called. And one of them is a goated karateka. Oh, here we are. Mikadono Sanshimai wa Angai Choroi. Mika Dono Sanshimai wa Angai Choroi. That's what it's called. Correct. Goated manga. But yeah, that's an example where I'm like, I understand the love for the main character. Rentaro. Or just Rentaro. Dude, that man, goated, bro. He will kill for his GS. Like, that's another example where I understand the love. Goro from Marriage Toxin. Another character where I'm like, I understand the love for him. Also, suspension bridge effect in that. All that sort of stuff. I feel like this is less of a trope nowadays. I feel like it was back with like nisekoi or quintessential quintuplets, where it just feels like the guy, they like him for being nice, and is like, you can just go out and find a dude on the street who's cool, right? Like, you can just meet a guy in class. Sometimes writing women isn't as simple as writing them like you would write a man, and that's fine. True. They're different. For beginner writers, write first, worry about unintended messages second. For more advanced writers, think about your setting's society. Yeah. Was an example of a strong female character who is female. That one, the English girl from The Great Pretender. Her. Audiences have a tendency to flanderize characters on their own sometimes. One aspect of a character making their defining characteristic for the rest of the story, but sometimes the audience will take a particular instance or a trait themselves and then act like it's character assassination when the character does something that conflicts with this. For example, in the One Piece live-action series, there is a moment after Zoro's duel with Mihawk that he is fighting for his life, and when Nami tells Luffy to go get the chef so he can help, Luffy mentions that he isn't really hungry right now because he's obviously concerned with his mortally wounded friend. Yeah. Yeah. What's an example of this that I find and I'm like, really, man? One Punch Man, where Saitama can't have romantic feelings or can't be in a relationship because he doesn't care about that sort of stuff. He's a human being, man. He still has needs and wants. Like, let my man live a little. He isn't committed to the grind and he isn't committed to being frugal. Like, I feel like if Saitama should just be a guy who's super strong, you know? And it's like the situation around him causes the absurdity in his life, where because he's super strong, he attracts weirdos, but in reality, he just wants a friend, which is what King is. King is just a friend to Saitama. Like, just a genuine friend, you know? He comes over, they play video games together, they chat. When he needs help, he goes to King. King will give him advice. Like, Saitama is just a guy. Hate the girl bossification of a female character in fandoms. Hey, yo. Gundam. She commits war crimes. Girl boss. I love that. It's just funny. How DC has written Harley Quinn as a pedophile more than once? What the fuck? Okay. I'm not reading that. Oh, that sounds... Oh, yeah, I just clicked that. Action Shonen is not a high expectation. True. Jujutsu Kaisen. Stupid Sexy Gojo was supposed to be strong female cast. Most premature, I said begin one to the middle is pretty good. If you have the girls, it's going to make for a pretty great or so many characters, right? Nope. Manga only has nice role. Yuki. Variations like equal to the team are going crazy. It does pay an so fun, right? It's unreasonably killed off very quick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, spoilers. Chainsaw Man. It's the only pretty manly affair. 6 years MC, a bunch of cute girls. And it was actually one of the best female casts of all time. True. Chainsaw Man has great female characters. And with part 2, even better, man. Asa's such a great female character. Bro, I was talking to myself because I'm an insane person. Fujimoto he made a goated character in Fire Punch. An immortal who can regenerate, who is transgender, and can't get top surgery because they're forced into their gender due to their natural ability, and she can never feel comfortable in her own skin. It's fucking insane. It's perfect. It can be an allegory for anything. It's such a great character design. It's such a great message. Fujimoto is such a goated author, man. Shout out Fairy Tail. Best shonen females for me. Yeah, too bad Fairy Tail is dog water. Not hard to compare that, but yeah, problem with Jujutsu Kaisen is that he just murks every character you like. They just die, man. Yeah, they just die a lot. Oh, excuse me, jeez. Oh my god. There we go. Sorry, I had to post something real fast. Yeah, they just die real fast. Is Yuki alive in Yuki Jujutsu Kaisen? Oh, did she die? Aw. Damn, I want Yuki and Choso. First episode of this really popular series, and I don't see what all the hype is about. Maybe, I don't know, you should watch more. Saying that Voldemort couldn't take over high school is a valid point against it. True. Speedsters aren't overpowered, the Flash is. Is Kagurabachi worth reading? My guy. You just need to spend like 15 minutes. True! Manga is such a good way of getting media quick. Because you can go at your own pace. If you think a part's slow, just scroll fast and just intake the information as quickly as you want. I'm gonna keep it real with you. When I see filler in my manga, I'm scrolling at the speed of sound, man. I make the Flash look like the slow, the blur. Or the Flash look like the turtle. Yeah, man. When I'm reading Nisekoi, boring part, scroll. Horimiya, boring part, nah. I would never scroll past Horimiya. It's my goat. But yeah, that's why I think manga is such a great medium. Because you can go at the speed you want. You can consume the media at the speed you want. You don't need to rely on like pacing or anything because you are setting the pace. I love when weaker characters have to hold the line in battle. That's just the guard in Warhammer. Oh yes, Moomin Rider. Bro, that's like the perfect example of just like a guy. I think that's a Moomin Rider is an example of one of my favorite tropes in fiction or in media where it's like normal people putting their goddamn hearts and lives on the line, showing the like hope, the justice, the true good in man, you know, the selflessness. Like, it's just so real. Like the guard where it's like, they will break, they will crack, they will die, but by God, they're gonna stand there until the end, you know? Ugh, so good. The guard in Warhammer or Moomin Rider, as we just saw, great characters. Or the bomb guy from MASH, him too, where he gets clapped, but he's still holding on. I hate the quiet girl wins, lively girl loses. Yeah, I hate that too. Freaking Sugami should win, man. Still upset. That has nothing to do with this, but man, gosh, Sugami was such a goat. There are two characters. One of them is an abuser, the other is a mass murderer. Only the mass murderer can be redeemed. I don't like it. Invincible, little bit Superman. There is a large difference between a character doing something bad and the narrative knowing it's wrong, and a character doing something wrong and the narrative thinking it's okay. What? When a character does evil things and the story considers them good. Huh. Yeah, child slavery. Another example. Why? Like, he should be fighting to free his... Oh, but then the slave's like, oh no, it's actually good. And he's like, I think we have a term for that. I think it's called Stockholm Syndrome. Most violent arc in Naruto is the Chunin exams. Nice. People saying, this was for kids. Jason is the worst effing hero. Jason from Far Cry? It's like the Avengers. Jason from Percy Jackson? Oh, the actual mythology. Okay. I'm not reading that, Chief. Just get eaten by Kirby, don't get digested, but they instead reappear. I feel like they should cease to exist. Seven Deadly Sins. Oh my god. What a drop off, man. This thing went down the drain. You cannot, man. I go on some water slides and I think that the drop off is like 90 degrees. Man, if I went on the Seven Deadly Sins water slide, I'd be going backwards. That's how far it dropped off. Like, I'd be going into the core of the earth. That show, even if you excuse the like horrendous animation of season 3, the writing, man, it got so bad because they had this thing where they introduced a bunch of really cool characters all coming to the country because there's demons. They're here to kill demons. And then they bring all these characters in, and then you don't see half of them. And then they're like, look how strong this guy is. And he's murking like, you have some guys killing demon lords. And then you have this dude slaughtering like F tier guys. And they're like, hey guys, look how strong he is. I'm like, brother, he killed like, the cannon fodder's cannon fodder. Man, what a... And then Meliodas, yeah. Main point of this post. Meliodas. Why? He saw this princess from birth, and she turns like 18, starts groping her. Brother, come on. You're like an uncle to her. What are you doing? My lord, what a horrendous show. The worst thing a character can be is down bad 24/7. Directly relates. Denji, I guess. I love Denji, though. I love Denji. That man's down bad 24/7. Did you Giant Sword's Justice? Yeah. I like it because it treats the sword as less of a sword and more as a giant club with an edge. Low effort. I love it when game enemies use a player's knowledge of game mechanics against them. Yeah. Mesmer. Oh god. Not a YouTube ad. That's free advertisement. Scroll away.
Because at Hyundai, war is all we do.
Read the comment. Primary directed to swim closer to such a beautiful creature. Mesmer. It looks silly. Looks like a very silly Billy. He just gets a little lick and leaves. Then also, have you ever heard of they immediately stamp your sword in the head for massive damage? Is that the old owl boss? I don't know. I love kind and compassionate MCs. I love it when the main character is a human being. That's very much Tanjiro. That was the main like selling point of early Demon Slayer when I was reading it. Where I was reading it, I got to like I started reading it when there was like 20 chapters or like 40. That's when I started, and then I would be reading it, and the thing that made me want to come back for more is the fact that Tanjiro is just a pure, kind kid whose morals are steadfast, He thinks that everybody's redeemable. He feels the emotions. He has a ton of empathy. He's just a great guy. And such a phenomenon. It was so refreshing at the time. So I kept coming back, and then I read the ending, and I was like, nice. Always be annoyed by casual fans. I can't stand obsession over lack of punishment for villain redemption arcs. If you believe prison should be about rehabilitation, not punishment in the sense of... Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, too bad that most villains are mass murderers. Hope that wasn't present in a lot of... Me too! I miss this so much because I was thinking about Signalis, man, where it's just this overly depressing ending. Or like, what's another show that was really depressing? There's a lot of shows like that where it's just like Come on, please. You need to give hope to make endings. I can't stand endings without a little bit of hope. If you're gonna make it bitter and sad and depressing and dark, you gotta drop like a little pearl of golden hope into your cauldron of despair, you know? Come on, bro. Why do you gotta do this to me, Signalis? I just want these girlies to be happy. Jujutsu Kaisen fans respond to what happens to Tsumiki makes me kind of piss. I don't know what happens to Tsumiki. Spy Kids 3 has the funniest anticlimax ever. Is it when the guy comes in, he's like, I'm the guy. And then he says on electric chat the one's on his 100 lives. Yeah, he just gets bodied. So good. Spy Kids is such a good movie series. The main character fist fighting the main antagonist after losing his powers. It's the coolest thing. Facts. Another example where it's just humanity, you know? Not all this BS powers. Oh, we're so strong. We're using curse techniques. Nah, bro, we're gonna settle this like men. We're just gonna get down and dirty and just beat the piss out of each other. The ending to Ashura's Wrath is an example of that, where it's like, bro, you can have the power. You are a literal god. You are the creator of the universe. I am now going to punch you. Yeah, another Raiden. It's like, it's just emotion at that point. It's emotion, and it's about who wants to win more. It's who wants to win more, who is like striving for their ideal stronger, whose will to win, you know? Man, such a great trope. I hate every video game story that relies on your player character just not being able to do something they obviously can do. Yeah, like how in Fallout 3, they'll have these dilapidated doors that have master locks on them. And you're like, I have a portable nuclear launcher, and I have guns, and I have, and there is a hole for me to reach through the door and unlock it. And yet, you want me to have 100 lockpick to get through this thing. How about... Fallout 3 already requires you to have 100 lockpick to get into the game. Like, that thing is coded to never open ever in your life. You can have 100 in computers in your skill tree, and Fallout 3 won't open for you. You have to play, like, god-tier terminal hacking to play this thing. It's horrendous. Still haven't gotten Fallout 3 to work. I hate when characters that are supposed to be ugly look fine. I think this is very difficult in animation, like anime, because if you make a character ugly, it's just breaks your suspension of disbelief. I think it's much more... I think it's much easier for you to just make a normal guy. Like, if you just made, like, yeah, that guy's just normal. I think, like, ugly anime characters just, like, they're fat. Haha. You know? Like, you just make an ugly bastard and you're just kind of like, okay, cool. Just because something is realistic doesn't mean that it's good writing. Yeah, you need suspension of disbelief. And you want to use your suspension of disbelief to the max and make the reader believe in crazy stuff, you know? Like, use it to your advantage. You have the suspension of disbelief. Come on. You know, stretch your wings, literature writer, and just go balls to the walls. I like this character, therefore I'm going to ignore the faults they're deliberately written with. Yeah, very common. The opposite of this, where it's like, I don't like this character, so I'm going to put faults onto them that aren't there. i.e. Superman. I hate how in Superman, or in a lot of Superman comics and portrayals of Superman, how they're always like, what if Superman evil? What if he bad? But it's like, there is no harder story than Superman trying his hardest for people who hate him, but he keeps going. I think that's the premise of Superman. He is super simplistic, but that's the beauty in it, where his character's simplistic, his superpowers are basic, but it's the fact that he's such a moral character and he's a pillar, and he's always going to try his gosh darn hardest to save the world. It's what makes Superman so amazing. I like it. It's like Tanjiro, but Superman, or Tanjiro's like Superman. Time should pass more often in shonen battle manga. True. If you have two battles happening at the same time, and like one guy is getting his ass absolutely handed to him, and he's bleeding out, maybe have the other fight go a little bit faster, so that he doesn't bleed out and die. I think that would be cool, where a character is dying, so that puts pressure on another fight happening at the same time to wrap it up quick, or else this dude's dying of blood loss. That would be an interesting premise, or interesting chapter. I feel like that would be a Sakamoto Days chapter. No, you're not stomping a velociraptor. Pyrokinesis and fire-related powers are oftentimes pointless in battle. Yeah, because there's no weight in it. If you launched fire at somebody, it would just be really fucking hot. But if it just goes away, it's just, there's no weight behind fire. You have to sustain fire, right? Non-lethal takedowns are extremely difficult to justify. True, Legend of Korra. Not Legend of Korra, Avatar. Hot take, I really enjoyed Legend of Korra. I think that people watch Legend of Korra through the same, expecting Avatar The Last Airbender, where Avatar The Last Airbender really strived and really did well with the character dynamics and the characters in the show. Legend of Korra doesn't have as strong characters, but it's an extremely good show in its own right, simply due to the martial arts, man. The fight scenes in it are so good. How each bending style is so unique, and Korra puts it together. Like, she's... Aang was all about, gaining the abilities so that he could fight Oza, and then it's like, oh man. And there's like, oh, did I train hard enough? Oh my god, like, I'm gonna be fighting life and death with this guy. I don't want to kill him. Whereas Korra's is more about, like, she's already innately talented. She's already a god tier fighter. It's just the fact that everybody else knows that, and she keeps getting, like, bodied because she isn't underestimated. So it's less about her growing as an avatar and growing her skills. It's more about her learning to, like, reel it in. And it's not nearly as well done as Avatar The Last Airbender, but personal opinion, the fight scenes make up for it. I went through... Also, I just realized that entire tangent could make zero sense to somebody, because I went all over the place during it. Itachi's not a good brother, and I will not be gaslit into believing it. Yeah. Bro murdered his whole family, and then they're like, hey, you're still my bro, right? Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 236 is a pretty good example of... It's a pretty good example of why, as an author, you shouldn't let your personal feelings of a character get in the way of writing their arc. Gojo getting off-screened. Nice. Your medieval fantasy world has potatoes but not semi-automatic weapons? Yeah. I hate when some super strong bad guy just throws a good guy around like a ragdoll for no reason. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm done arguing. I'm gonna go to sleep. It's like 2, man. That's a fun stream. I just debated myself like a absolute schizophrenic, which is normal. Yeah. I didn't get tongue-tied that much, too. So, successful debate against myself and just arguing with myself. Also, Remnant 2. I should play that. Yeah. I'm gonna go take a big fat sleep and a big fat shower. Ciao. Love you. Kisses. Smooches. Not parasocially. Uwu. God, that's so cringe. Honestly, though, cringe kind of pog. Like, if you live in fear of being cringe, you're not living. Just say what you want. You want to gyat for the Rizzler? Oh, God. All right. That is actual cringe. Oh, my Lord. Jesus Christ. Bro, TikTok is actually deteriorating the brains of, like, kids. It's crazy. Kids born from, like, 2010 to, like, 2020 are just destined for failure. Because I think COVID, actually, I mean, the kids at my workplace, I feel like, have adjusted well, but I think that's more due to the fact that the parents are more attentive to what they are more attentive with their, like, internet literacy and their internet usage. I mean, we're going to go through a phase where the kids are just going to be absolute, like, insane. They're just going to be psychopaths. And then we're going to have the parents who know the internet and grew up on the internet, who know what is good and not good. So I think we're in, like, the experimental phase of parenting alongside the internet. But that's serious business, and I want to talk about Korra seeming like Korra seems to care more about the adult side characters than the protagonists. Yeah. Because I love kids shows. Anyways, Chowsers. I'm gonna go cry in a bathtub.